standard drifting, you have to understand oversteer. This is when the back end of the car rotates in the direction of the turn. There are many ways to make this happen, and I'm going to teach you all of them. With rear drive cars, you can use the gas to adjust your drift angle. Getting your car to oversteer is a big part of drifting, but if you can't control your car, you will still lose. To keep from spinning out, you need to countersteer. Turn the front wheel smoothly towards the outside of the turn and balance the gas to hold the drift. Keep the front wheels pointed at where you want to be going as it drifts. Play with this balance until you get a feel for it. All cars drive differently, so try to find a car that fits your style. For drifting, buy a rear drive car, and for grip, go with all-wheel drive cars. Let's do something easy first. Power over drifting. It's just using the gas to get your car sideways. To do a power over, just give it full gas and turn the wheel hard right or left. Try to spin the car in circles in one place. This is how you will practice. Once you master this, you'll be able to use a power over to do much more. You may have to countersteer to keep the car from spinning out, especially later when you have more power to play with. Watch me! This is easy. Yank the side brake and turn the steering wheel. If you're going in a straight lane, the car will quickly rotate. If you're already in a drift, pressing the side brake button will cause the back wheel to block up and give you some more angle. Keep in mind, the angle is also based on how long you hold the side brake. Hold it too long and you might spin out. You already learned that drifting is about disrupting the balance of the car. A braking drift is just that, upsetting the balance of the car. Check it out. Coming hot and down on the gas. Now let off the gas and slam on the brake. Hold it, wait a second, and get back on the gas. If you do it right, the car will swing out. This one's the hardest yet. Give it a shot. This is my favorite technique to kickstart the drift. The clutch kick can be done while you're drift driving, to initiate the drift, or during a slide, to keep it going some more. During a turn, quickly get on and off the clutch to engage and disengage the clutch, bringing up the left on the engine. The extra power will help the rear tires break loose. The car will rotate and your clutch will drift. Be sure to stand on the gas while you're engaging the clutch, otherwise it won't work. Just like it sounds, the accelerator of drift requires that you let off the gas to cause the car to oversteer. Enter a turn way faster than you should, but make sure you put on the gas. Once you feel a little bit transfer, immediately let off the gas. At that point, the car should rotate around. Time to steer and enjoy. This is it. Get this one right, and you're on your way to being a professional. I know you got what it takes. The pain is a technique drifted borrowed from rally racing. Approach your turn just like you normally would, only instead of turning towards the corner, you quickly turn away, then back towards the turn. By doing this, you roll one side of the car and it'll snap back in the desired direction. Countersteer as soon as you feel the back end come out from under you. Remember the feint drift I taught you a while back? That's going to be useful for the manji drift. Find yourself a good long strip of straightaway and pick up some speed. Once you're going at a good pace, turn to one direction. Let off the gas. That will cause the back end to rotate quickly. And countersteer in the opposite direction while stepping on the gas at the same time. Once the car swings the other way, repeat by letting off the gas and steering in the original direction. If you're good, you can do this down the whole straight. Good luck!
up and rhyme these bars. But even when I